This Is How It Is, our podcast by Scott and Robin Mayberry. Came about because we found another podcast that we really liked that ADHD love, because I recently started bumping up against the idea, semi-formally diagnosed a couple different times with autism and ADHD, which I did not think was me. And I thought it was everybody around me and I was the normal one. And how I managed to think that just goes to show how much self-deception I can involve myself in. So we're going to be talking about what it's like to be two people who live together. We just had our 25-year anniversary. And we were together a couple years before that. So we have been together for a long time with two kind of wacky brains. But our two wacky brains kind of match each other. Okay, so... how did you find out that you are on the autism spectrum?
Well, our son had tons of social issues, so we brought him in and see what was going on with him, and found out he was autistic, which I think we knew. Actually, we kind of knew like right away. So we got him diagnosed, and then went through the whole line of diagnosing him, and I filled up that sheet too. So, and I was pretty much there. And you know, I've always known I've been socially awkward, and I can be socially very good. Yeah, and if I'm very comfortable, and if it's all about me, you know, which is a pretty autistic thing. So I know I was in college, I was really if I was a star of everything, I was really good socially. But then the minute I'm in a crowd, I disappeared, and then I bring down a crowd because it's like I'm the star. You guys got to pay attention to me, you know, and all that stuff. So that was I knew there was something weird about me, but you know, I just thought it was like I was just self-absorbed guy, and
or an
artist too, sure, and you know, I was pretty much out there, you know, as an odd guy, you know, and there was I had some small, in college I had a small following of people that liked me, and you know, some people really didn't like me at all, but I was good with that, and but as I get older, I definitely, it's pretty obvious, is like when you're trying to adult. How about that? Adulting as an autistic person is not as easy as adulting as well, I was a young adult, but I sure felt like I was a kid still, up to about 42. So, I mean, I still was kidding till 42, 44. So.
Well, when did you go into recovery?
When I was about 42. Wait. Let's see. 15 years basically recovery right
42,
now.
42, you're 42, yeah.
Yeah, so that's 42. Okay. Before that too, though, I did have a lot of anxiety about what would happen to my family and stuff, but I kind of go back to, I wonder how much it was like, okay, how is that going to affect me if they die or get sick or something, you know, and I don't know. I'm not totally sure, because I think there was some shift there after that.
But don't you think everybody kind of...
Sure. Yeah, I know.
Thinks that way? We just don't want to, like, necessarily...
I don't think that way as much anymore, though, and I actually think that, there's part of me that thinks, like, what is it, how does it affect me, but it's not my main concern anymore, you know, and I mean, I know when my mother, but yeah, it seemed like it came out to my brain, like, okay, well, my mother dies, how? Because I was still kidding, you know, I was not adulting, you know, and so, and I was like, you know, when we first met, which I kind of did not know, but, you know, underwear, you know, just popped in my underwear drawer, and I just don't know where they came from.
His mother was still buying his underwear.
Yeah. I had no idea.
Until we were fully married, and I asked her to stop.
Yeah, I mean, my mom had joint bank accounts too and stuff. I was definitely a mama's boy. So all that stuff for sure. You know, I was pretty connected with my mother. But and you know, she's a great lady, obviously too.
She was.
So,
she was.
But yeah, I mean, I think the whole thing is that what it opened up. It did open me up a lot. I think for many years, seemed like many years we were together, I felt weird about not being able to look in your eyes, and I thought, I was like, am I a psychopath, you know? Like, what the fuck's going on? I'm sorry, I'm going to cuss here and there. And I couldn't look a lot of people in the eyes, but especially my wife, that was disturbing to me. And then looking up the autistic thing was a very extremely common one, obviously. And then I started realizing, okay, well, consciously, if I practice on, see, look at this.
Yeah, that's so natural. I just read a thing this morning, somebody saying, I don't look people in the eyes because I don't want to put them through the discomfort of me staring in their eyes. Mm. So it's like the more we love someone, if we're sensitive to that, then we don't. And I do the same thing too. I just gotta flash at somebody. I'm not gonna be like, drill.
I totally get that. And, I mean, I do have these moments where, when it comes to business and to job work.
Okay, I'm gonna interrupt you.
Yeah.
Then. You know what those are?
What?
Masks.
Right. Well, sure. And they're strategies.
Yeah. Those are masks. Your job mask, your business mask.
Well, definitely. And I'm
friendly salesman mask.
I'm decent at that, and because I know I'm better socially when I know the parameters. When I don't know the parameters, like even though it seems simple, like 3 people are in a room together, I feel fucking weird.
Yeah, 3 is hard.
And I don't know who to talk to first. And well, you seem like you have a little.
I can do it.
You can do it. Mm-hmm. I can't do it at all. And I just like, okay, I'm gonna just not say anything, and I'm gonna let them talk, and that's where I go to. And even if we're gonna
and then people think you're not listening, which
exactly.
You're not, honestly. A lot of the times,
well, yeah, and
because you don't feel included, you don't feel like you can engage. Anyway,
part of it too, I got diagnosed with hard of hearing too.
Oh, right.
This year. Answer the question or not?
We go. Yeah. We got our 6-year-old son evaluated, and Scott was like, check. But because you are a male, you were checkbox down the list. Also, you were a little more evident your whole life. I mean, it was just kind of like Scott was the one who was different, but it was because you were an artist and you were sensitive.
Shy and
shy and a little awkward. And I, now that it's kind of like gotten into my face a little bit, it was not obvious. It really wasn't obvious, but it's things like, especially how I was as a kid. I mean, I have the stimming, except for I stim in different ways. When I was young, I used to rock. I mean, it's like, who does that? Except for like people on the spectrum. But even so, I always am like rubbing on whatever fabric that I'm wearing, and I can only wear very soft fabrics, and they have to fit just right. And it actually doesn't even matter what it looks like that much. It's what the fabric feels like on my body. And I'm very sensitive to like textures. I'm very sensitive to sounds. I'm ridiculously aware of people's emotional state around me. And because I was raised female, I think, identify as female, our second child is transgender. So we use that sort of transgender friendly language around here. But I was raised female, and that means that I learned how to mask, and I was taught how to mask. And it's a huge expectation for females that they make everybody comfortable in the room, and I kind of took to it naturally. And as an aside, I kind of wonder how much like traumatic experiences when I was young, facilitated that, because if I could make everyone around me happy, then it was a better situation.
I'm exactly the opposite.
He is exactly the opposite, which is so one of the things we do want to talk about is like how sometimes these things can clash, because he's like just going to plow through the crowd, and I'm like, no, we have to make the whole crowd happy. So
I sometimes don't, especially when it doesn't involve money, I don't really care if I hurt someone's feelings because I'm being myself.
What he means is, if it's part of our business or his job, then he will mask. And if it's not, then he don't care. That's what he means when he says doesn't involve money. Anyway,
sure,
let me finish this.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, I had a couple of different friends, one of my very good friends in particular, that brought to my attention, perhaps you are neurodivergent, and maybe even on the spectrum, and next thing you know, I was taking some quizzes, and then I was talking to then I got a therapist, and talking to the therapist, and basically it's like, checkity, check. But it really, in my case, has less to do with overt social awkwardness and more to do with what's going on inside of myself, because I'm in a constant state of anxiety and discomfort, because where I am happy is sitting right here on this couch recording to you from our couch. And this is the only place that I really feel comfortable. The rest of the world is out there. It's just full of sharp edges. And I'm just always uncomfortable. And that's, I guess not everyone feels like that. Who knew? So it's been kind of interesting. And then I'll just add, just very recently got thrown into the mix. Robin, perhaps you have ADHD. And then I've been looking at him going, dude, you have ADHD. So, that's ADHD, they're called, whatever. So we don't know, but we know that we function a little differently. Why is it cool that you're on the autism spectrum?
I do have superpowers.
Which are?
One is extreme focus when I'm interested in something. And it's not about toasters, which I'm glad, or railroad tracks or something,
My father was into railroads.
I don't understand autistic people are into that because the sound of rail trains, it bothers me very much. And I want to get on my knees and scream, actually. And it's funny that a lot of autistic people love trains. Don't get it. But, yeah, I mean, I really get into something, and I can just explore. If I'm really into it, I can explore it and expand on it. And I think the other thing is, like, I really do think when I have a nervous energy, it is pretty powerful, and I might make people feel like, where the hell is he going? But my nervous energy brings me places that I think are interesting. It's like a ride for me. And
like where?
Oh, just idea socially sometimes, and in recovery rooms and stuff. And
you get people talking. That's
I
sure.
get people talking. I'm pretty. I don't know if it's my autism or not, but I'm pretty open to everybody and everything, unless you're an asshole. I mean, and I don't. You're not worth it to me. And but yeah, I mean, I do this in recovery rooms, but I will go to a place and get someone to open up to me, like a cashier. I'll start mentioning, like, I remember one time I was mentioning my dad who had Alzheimer's, and then that person started talking about their parent who had Alzheimer's, and then they were like on the brink of having tears in their eyes, and I thought that was pretty cool. So I mean, I really believe in open emotion, and I don't know if that's my autism or is it just me. I don't know. It's like I've always been sensitive. It's like it's why people in prison and bikers kind of what beat me up. I think sometimes I don't know. I drive them crazy. I'm a little too sensitive and big.
He's a little bit of a trigger for the toxic masculine. All right, why is it cool to have autism? Okay, so you can drill into a special topic. You can get into emotional. I think you have excellent emotional intelligence. Actually, right. I think it's outstanding.
Yeah.
And then what about your art? Like, what about your?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm into. My focus is incredible, and I can. Yeah, and
what he focuses on. Yeah, is creativity.
Yeah.
Well, like right now, it's the plants.
Well, right now it's summertime, so I'm a lot of landscaping, and I really enjoy that. And I have a education of 3 art degrees and 10 years of school, and I always feel that pressure, like if I make an art piece, it better be decent, not more than decent, but really good. And sometimes it doesn't feel really good. So, but no, I mean, I think part of it is that it helps to be an artist. My autism helps me because of my focus and my emotional intelligence, and my openness to something that's going to happen differently. And it's funny because I think in our marriage we've talked about this, is that am I open to change? I'm not totally always open to change, but I'm open to emotional exploration and open towards artistic. And I mean, almost every 9 pieces I reinvent myself, and because I kind of get bored, and but I think it's part of my autism. I really do. I think there's other artists who can stick to it for 20 years, but a similar idea, and I can't. It's part of my success and part of my failure as an artist. But I think that's what makes me a pretty good artist, though. So my autism, I think, does help me. And
you go all the way with the thing.
Yeah.
You do not half-ass.
Right.
At all.
Yeah. Okay. Is that enough about cool?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm gonna just answer that question too, which
yep.
I just heard some. I'm paying attention to this stuff right now. It's a special interest, apparently. That's what my kid said. Mom, autism, you're like a special interest now. But I just heard someone say that pays more attention to sort of maybe the zeitgeist than I do. That I was always walking around saying, I think autism is evolutionary. I think that it's like where, how humans are evolving as the planet evolves. I think the fact that people with autism are so sensitive to pollutants and noise and chaos that if like more and more people can't tolerate that, then we'll have to reshape society. So I've been going around saying it's evolutionary, but I didn't think I was including myself.
It's like the X-Men.
Yeah, I do think it's a little bit X-Men. Anyway, I heard someone say, oh, you can't say that autism is a superpower because then that's, like degrading the intensity of the difficulty. And I think it's kind of a both and.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it is super hard to have a brain that's different than everybody else, but I also do think that it opens up some other doors. And like I too am like, I'm just ridiculous. Well, I think I maybe lean more actually now that I'm embracing it to the ADHD side. My ideas do not stop. I mean, I just constantly have ideas. The downside is I'm bored with those ideas in about 5 seconds. But I have a lot of them, and so it's like dandelion seeds, and some of them actually grow. I think, so I think we'll just say neurodivergent. I think having a neurodivergent brain allows like things to happen, through me that I think are pretty cool, and like we have 2 businesses and, I've just, I've written a bunch of things and I've done a bunch of workshops and I've offered a bunch of stuff and I make artwork and blah, 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 blah. And it's always something else. And I think that's pretty cool. And I think the sensitivity and the sort of the awareness of what's going on, the high level of, like I have this really sensitive radio and, I use it in my work. I mean, I do healing work, I do body work. And I mean, I use it every day because I can feel what somebody's experience or like kind of where things are stored or held, whether I'm doing manual body work or like energy work, I can feel it because that's how my brain works. And so I think those things just off the top are kind of useful. And I think we're interesting. I think that sometimes I wish we were just a Target going barbecue having, group friends on a cruise. I wish we were that way sometimes, but we are not.
No.
That is not, that's not our vibe. So I think we're kind of unique and original, and that's kind of neat. So, I know that both of us have spent a lot of time trying to figure out who we are, what we want, how we feel, and what we're available for, because that's the only way to remain sober and sane is you got to like be honest about who you are. And neurodivergent is part of who we are. So that's what I think.
I was going to say the weird thing about when people say that's not the right thing to do when you think you're superpower or whatever, I just think it's, I mean, it's the people that have autism that struggle the worst are the ones that are not open about it, I think, or they are not
it is
diagnosed.
A spectrum. It is a
a
spectrum.
for
And some
sure.
people are completely disabled by it.
I'm a caregiver, so I know. Yes,
and some people struggle worse than others.
Honestly, I know.
Yeah. We have it pretty lightweight, honestly.
Oh yeah. We're both very highly functioning autism. But what I'm saying, I get that. But even this level that people have, people are undiagnosed have, I think they don't know yet. It's a pretty big struggle for sure.
Yeah, if you don't know why, and you're trying to be like everyone else, and you're,
Yeah, it was revolutionary for me to find out. It helped a lot.
Yeah, and let's just finish with this because so this is like 20 years ago now that our oldest son went through the testing process, which was like a big involved many day observation and testing and interviews and all this stuff deal. And we kept looking at Scott like, he's not the only one. What about his dad right over here? And I felt like when we kind of put 2 and 2 together, we never bothered to get him like formally diagnosed because there was no point. It's so obvious. And yet I felt like once it became clear, once we knew what our son was experiencing and we knew what you were experiencing, it took the shame out of it. It was just like, oh, he's not a weirdo. He's not a psychopath. He's not trying to hide something. He's not being sneaky. He's just, his brain is just functions differently. You just have a different operating system. Like you're a Mac and everybody else is a PC. And it's just, you're similar, but just different enough that if you don't modify a little bit, then it doesn't work. Like you can't get through the day. So it's like knowing that and knowing why and knowing that that's not some moral failing. You just kind of function a little differently. I feel like that really, I thought it changed. I thought it took a lot of stress off of you.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean,
which,
for sure.
When our kids were young, anything that took the stress off, was good.
Well, major problem too is that it's still alcoholic too. So,
yeah,
but
right.
That didn't help.
We're also in recovery too. Yeah, that didn't.
An alcoholic, autistic, undiagnosed autistic person.
Yeah.
So never a not fun combo.
Alcoholic, alcoholic, autistic, artist.
Yeah,
that's a scene.
A lot of antisocial shit going on there.
Antisocial.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was. Yeah. Well, we do what we can to cope till we find something better. Okay, well, I think that is our first episode of This Is How It Is, because that's what we're calling this podcast. Cool. This is how it is, people. At least for us. Maybe for you. Okay.
Let me show you. I can make eye contact.
Okay. All right. That is all.
What? Is that all?
We're going to do...
I'm making eye contact right now.
Yeah, we see it. All right, we're going to do some more of these. We hope you enjoyed it. Mwah.
See ya.